Hello everyone, for OneWrestling.com. This is Bill Apter. Welcome down to Apter's Alley. And as you know, this is the place. So much history down here. And look what I found. I found this collectible Bash of the Brawlers doll. And this guy, Double Bang, Steve Corino. And I don't know where the Double Bang came from, but there's a Double Bang coming up right on the screen right now. Steve Corino. And who's the Double Bang right next to you there?
Right, say hi, this is Beckham. Say hi.
Hi, Beckham. So we're now introducing Beckham to the world. I don't think he's ever been down here in Apter's Alley.
There's a wave.
Yeah.
Say
How
hi.
old is Beckham?
He's going to be 2 next Friday.
2 years old. Now, depending
Yes,
upon
like
when
that.
people are watching this, what is the actual date of his birthday?
November 27th, day after Thanksgiving.
The day after Thanksgiving. And if people want to send birthday wishes to Beckham, how would they go about doing that?
Do it on social media. He has a Twitter account.
He does.
At Beck Meets World. BECMEETSWORLD. Yeah, he's got 357 followers, and every day he puts up a new adventure that he did. So it's like an online diary for him.
And he does answer his tweets?
He does.
Might we see?
Answer all your tweets?
He looks like a real tweetheart. He really does. So we're giving now a lot of fans see you with the neck brace, and I want to let everybody know. You and I talked about this before, that Stan Hansen did not make a comeback and hit you with the lariat. Correct?
Right. We're going to dispel all those rumors right now.
Okay. All right. I'm glad. First of all, glad to see that you're feeling up to doing this, because you had surgery how many days ago?
2 days ago.
Okay, now it used to be back in the old day you had surgery like you had
3 days ago. I'm sorry. I lost
okay.
My wife just leaned in and said 3.
Well, wives are good with that. My wife isn't here at the moment to correct what I'm saying. So,
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. We're taping on Thursday. Yeah, it's Monday morning.
So, and it used to be a long time ago, of course, when you had an involved surgery like you did, which we'll discuss, that you'd have to be in the hospital for like 2-3 weeks. But yeah, that's right. But the medical profession has really changed to where you have the surgery done, you're out in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I was lucky. I got out a little over 24 hours after the surgery.
Okay, now there are a lot of people who don't know about the surgery. They don't know why you've had this surgery. So we need a little Steve Corino textbook here. Tell us.
Well, I mean, 21 years of bumps and bruises and landing on my head. I guess led up to the surgery. I can't pinpoint it for months now. I've been trying to pinpoint like what could it have been. That might be the answer right there.
It is actually.
It was just one of those things. Like my arm was going numb. I was having the tingle in my fingers, and my wife, she had said, like, you should go to the doctor and get it checked out. And, we went throughout the whole, what you're missing off screen is my son just dumped iced tea all over his face. It was pretty funny. He doesn't find it funny, though. And so, it led to an MRI to where, we both thought, like, they were going to say that we were just need pain management, like, the occasional injection in the neck and stuff. And then I could just go on. And but the rude awakening was that, I had this damage to my C4, C5, C6, also bone spurs in my C2. And that, like, they had said, I was one bump away from, being paralyzed.
Of course.
They couldn't believe that I waited so long to get it done. And then, so they went in Monday, they did 2 incisions, both sides of my neck, put a titanium plate in there, shaved down all the bone spurs that were on the vertebrae, and now it's the recovery period.
Yeah. So what was there? Were there 1 or 2 incidents, or as you call them in the business, bumps that you feel contributed more to this?
Yeah. I mean, there were times. I've done 79 scores in Japan, so there are times when Sanjiro Otani would give me that loop as suplex on the top of my head 10, 12 times a tour, and I would try and weigh him down. I would jump. I could contribute to that. There was a an incident with Nathan Jones and Tom Howard once in Japan where I landed on the top of my head. Just so many times the bumps and bruises that go with being a wrestler.
Yeah.
And, it just all adds up. And, they talk about, maybe, I don't know, I've heard it for about 7 or 8 years, the term the bump card, and how many times can you punch your bump card before your bump card's over? And, I bet you I was way, way expired. And, it was just a matter of time that this was going to happen. And I think I prolonged it a little bit because being a color commentator for Ring of Honor, I was only wrestling, 2, 3, 4 matches a month as opposed to, 8 to 14 matches a month. So I think I prolonged it a little bit, but then in the meantime, every time that I would bump, I'd be like, man, something's definitely wrong there.
Yeah, something doesn't feel right. Yeah. So I'm going to take the position of a civilian outside of the wrestling business, and when I hear about the surgery that you had, I'd say, was it worth it? What did you do it for? Why didn't you just stop?
Oh, hindsight being 2020, we could always say like, I should have stopped here, I should have stopped there, I should have quit 5 years ago. But man, pro wrestling is that euphoric drug that we're all looking forward to. It's better than any drug that could ever be on the market. And I'm very limited to my drug knowledge, but it's the idea. I've always wanted to be a professional wrestler since I was 8 years old. So I've got to live this dream. I've got to do things that I never thought that I would be able to do. Just being a normal person. So of course I'm going through like tons of pain. It's going to be a long rehab back and stuff, but was it worth it? Yeah, it was definitely worth it because, let's face it, I could have walked across the street and got hit by a car and broke my neck, but I'm the ultimate overachiever. I said it on Ring of Honor television this week. I'm the ultimate overachiever. I never should have gotten as far as I got. And, so it's all gravy. And I got a chance to travel the world and, meet great people. Think about it. Like, I would have never had this chat with you if I never would have got into wrestling. I would have just still been, I would have still been your fan instead of your friend. And, that's the cool things that pro wrestling has given me over the last 2 decades.
Okay, so the pain and everything that went along with it was well worth it.
Yeah, well worth it. Pro wrestling has given me my life. I have a great house, I have a gorgeous wife, and 2 sons, and it's given me all these friends and opportunities to be places that I never would have went to. I used to be a milkman. I was a milkman until I became like a self-sufficient in professional wrestling. I could still be a milkman. It is a nice, honest job, but I got a chance to live out that dreams and be successful. I never got to main event at WrestleMania, but you know what? Like, wrestling has paid the bills for a long time.
Now, you guys never lose the urge, no matter how many surgeries you've had and all that, to say, you know what? Maybe one more time. What do you say to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed it wasn't no right away.
No. Yeah, where's my wife?
Yeah.
You never know. It's one of those things where, like, the doctor told me that, my in-ring career is over, but, I'm sure people have told athletes that along the way of every injury. So, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to do the rehab the right way, get a new diet, just really, really rehab the right way, because even if I can never return to the ring as an active competitor, I'm going to be healthy and, and I'm going to be able to pick up my child, and I'm going to be able to have a great quality of life and still be involved in wrestling. I had already started the downswing with, being a commentator and using my mouth instead of, my
But you're still involved. You're still involved.
Yeah, I'll always be involved. I like I said, I've loved professional wrestling since I was 8 years old, and I've always loved it, and, I'm never not going to love it. It's,
all right. So we just, of course, found out that, and by the way, when you see injuries like this and the surgery that you took care of, and people say, is wrestling fixed? And I say, I didn't know it was broken. So
I didn't know it was broken. And like I was saying off air, this is the third time I've been reading the book.
Thank you. I wasn't actually looking for a plug there. I was trying to say, you guys get hurt. You guys get hurt. And Ring of Honor, of course, which is your alma mater here. They've been treating you great. It's a terrific company. And recently, the news that they've left Destination America and gone to Comet TV. Would you like to say something about that?
Well, I was in the hospital when all this came about, and once I was in the recovery room and got on my phone and started reading all about it, and it's exciting. It's an exciting adventure that Ring of Honor is always on. Since I've been with Ring of Honor, we've been on HDNet, and then of course the Sinclair Broadcasting channels, and now Destination America, and now Comet. It's always exciting. It's one of the things that I've heard detractors say, like, oh, well, I don't have Comet. I don't know where Comet is. It's 2015. Even if you don't have Comet and you don't have a Sinclair Broadcasting channel, you can watch Ring of Honor every week on ROHWrestling.com.
Sure, of course.
We have so much wrestling, just in the palms of our hands. On any given day, I can watch wrestling from 1950 to current products of today. I can watch the indie of indies, or I can watch WWE Network.
No, you're right. You can virtually watch wrestling 24/7. And I know for a fact that you were unable to sleep. I've heard from you. And were you watching wrestling in the middle of the night?
I was. Last night I came down on the couch and I just did the YouTube search of Georgia Championship Wrestling. And
Oh, wow.
That was my favorite, because it's the first wrestling I ever watched. And, I was watching Mr. R versus Ted DiBiase, that whole thing, where they pull off the mask and it's Brad Armstrong.
You're
and
still a student of the game.
Kid.
Yeah, you're still a student of the game.
The sound of it is just so much fun. And,
All right.
There's so much great wrestling out there now that it's great. With Ring of Honor being on Comet TV, it's basically a brand new station. And it's a great way, here we've been around for, almost 14 years now. But, to a lot of people, they just know the WWE, and so this gives a chance with whole new network, a whole, what's the saying? You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Well, we kind of do. We're getting a first impression, and now people that are getting their first impressions of Comet TV. So I'm definitely excited for it. And Destination America was great with us.
Yes, yeah.
It really opened a great door. They seem like great people, putting both Ring of Honor and TNA on their station on Wednesday night. And, it's just, we just keep going forward. And that's the thing. It's not a matter of what channel you're on. It's a matter of you're on a channel. So let's have fun. And
that's the battle right there. It really is, being on the channel. Well, we want to thank you so very much for giving us an update. And I know that there's been thousands and thousands of fans that have sent you good well wishes, etc. Where can people once again contact you on social media?
Oh yeah, and just take a second. The outpouring of support is amazing. On Twitter at King Corino, through email steve@worldofcorino.com. It's just amazing. I've been getting tweets and texts and from people that I haven't heard from in years. And it made my heart feel.
It's a big family, the fans and the wrestling community. It's wonderful.
It is, and you could go without talking to somebody for 5 years, and then all of a sudden they hit you up, and it's like time is still, and you're talking to them again, and it's it's really a cool thing. And that's another thing that wrestling's given me. So yeah, at King Corino on Twitter, on social media. My website is worldofcorino.com. I just updated it since I got time to sit around and do stuff. But, I'm going to try and get some sleep tonight. I'm going to try and get on that plane and get to Nashville for Ring of Honor this weekend. So I don't know what I can do, but at least I can be there and support the boys and girls and support the fans that have supported me.
And I understand that on December 18th and 19th, Ring of Honor is at the old ECW Arena for 2 days. And I asked you a favor, and you said, if I'm well, I'll be there. December 19th, I'm going to be doing my debuting my first one-man variety show ever surrounding this book over here. And you said to me you would gladly come out and introduce me. And if you fans go to Phila, Phila Mocha, MOCA, philamocha.com, and look at December 19th on the menu there. you'll see what this is all about. And I would be totally flattered for you to come down.
Oh, I can't wait, and I hope all the fans in the Philadelphia area come see. You're a funny guy and an amazing singer. You sang at my wedding.
I did.
And I just can't wait to say, you know, the
I might even do a Barry Manilow song for your mother.
Oh, God, awesome. Yeah, not only am I happy that I get to introduce you, but I can't wait to see the show. So everybody come on out and see it. I mean, it's so
Thank
cheap.
you.
I can't believe that you're only charging that much to come see you for this one-man show. You're definitely undercutting yourself.
And I'll have copies of the book there and all that. And of course, Steve Corino is in the book. He's been a dear friend. I covered your very first match.
You sure did, back in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it was in that
The old
castle.
Lake Tennis days.
Yes. But that was great. We go back a long way, and we always say when you lived in Pennsylvania, we never lived that far apart, but we only saw each other in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. Germany, England, lots of adventures with
Yeah, and I want to bring up something that's not too pleasant now. In the past few days, we've all read about those horrid attacks in Paris, and you and I and your son Colby flew back from Paris together on one of our trips, and we sat next to this lovely young lady by the name of Helene, who was from
Yeah.
Paris, France, and
Yeah.
I still keep in touch with her on Facebook. And what would you like to say to? Because I know you have tons of fans, and in France you wrestled there 100,000 times. What would you like to say to the people there?
Oh yeah, what a shame that what happened over there. It's just it's nonsense for we're killing people for the sake of killing people, and I just it sounds cliche, but I wish everybody would just love each other and accept everybody's differences, because if we accepted everybody's differences and if we accepted and learned about everybody's cultures, it might be a little more of a peaceful world out there. And what a shame that all those people had to die for what? For what? Just nonsense. And my heart goes out to everybody in Paris and everybody around the world. Because
Well, sure. And when you know somebody like we did her, it just kind of resonates.
It hits home.
It really does. All right, King of Old School. Oh, by the way, where did this? What was the double bang here? We never got to the
I
bottom.
have no idea. I've never had a move called the double bang before.
Wow. And
So maybe if I make a comeback into the ring, I will invent the double bang so that it could be a vintage ECW move. I'm just gonna have to figure it out. But it's funny that there's a cast and a crush right now because I have a neck brace and stuff like that. So
unbelievable.
I was a good-looking guy back then.
no more neck breaking. That's out of the question. Steve Corino. For everyone here at OneWrestling.com, we are so glad to see you up and around. And again, December 18th and 19th, Ring of Honor at the arena where ECW used to hold their shows. And we will see you at the matches, right?
Absolutely.